My name is Scott Tubbs. I'm the Cropping Systems Agronomist with the University of Georgia, located in Tifton, Georgia. Today I'm going to talk to you about a variety trial that I'm conducting on the Ponder Farm as part of the Georgia Peanut Tour. At this location at Ponder Farm, this trial has 10 different cultivars. 9 of these are releases that have come out since Georgia 06G, and Georgia 06G is in this field as our commercial standard. In combination with the variety trial, we have inoculated and non-inoculated peanuts out here with Brady Rhizobia inoculant to try and help with nitrogen fixation. So each one of these varieties is represented with 4 replications, either inoculated or non-inoculated. 5 of the varieties have come out of the University of Georgia breeding program. 3 of the varieties out here came out of the University of Florida breeding program. We have 1 variety out of the USDA breeding program in Tifton, Georgia, and 1 variety out of the USDA breeding program that's a cooperation between Auburn University and the National Peanut Research Lab in Dawson, Georgia. In these varieties, what we often see is based on the primary breeding location, since these breeding programs are scattered throughout the southeastern U.S. and even in different states in the peanut producing areas, often we'll get different pest pressures, and sometimes the breeding that is done for these peanuts are surrounded by keeping different pest pressures at bay. So tomato spotted wilt virus is a primary threat that we've been focused on in variety breeding over the last 30 years or so, and many of these varieties actually have better tomato spotted wilt virus resistance than Georgia 06G, our current industry standard cultivar. However, some of the varieties that have come out of the University of Florida breeding program often don't hold up as well in this environment here in Tifton, Georgia, as they do down in the southwest corner of the state, closer to where the peanuts are bred. So we will be able to show you some varietal differences out in this field for tomato spotted wilt virus resistance. We also see that different varieties have a different vegetative growth habit. Some have a more prominent main stem, and some have more of a prostate growth habit and grow closer to the ground with a more prostrate vine habit. Some of these varieties are in my agronomic research program for the first time this year. I have no data to report on them. Some of them have been represented for several years, and several of them have gone back for quite a few years now. The yield on some of these varieties have performed just as well, held up just as well as Georgia 06G. So I think we are at a point where Georgia 06G, even though it has dominated acreage for the last for 12 to 15 years in the state of Georgia and in the entire southeast runner producing area, some of these other varieties have the potential to take over some acreage from Georgia 06G because of their yield potential being just as good and having even better pest resistance to certain diseases, and in some cases, with the case of TifNV High-OL, it is a root knot nematode resistant variety. So we have some up and coming varieties that have very strong yield potential and may be able to take over some of the acreage. From a buying point standpoint, however, many of the buying points don't like to handle too many varieties. It makes for difficulty in separating, segregating, and storing those peanuts when there's too many varieties that are commercially available. So we really try to pinpoint down to anywhere from 3 to 5 cultivars that have the strongest yield potential, the strongest disease packages, and meet the needs of what growers might be facing in the majority of the fields.